Hello. So the other Dirty John series is about Debra and Tara Newell. It's another true story. I made the Betty Broderick one the last video. Well, the first installment of the Dirty John series, after it's this man after the name comes from. His name was John. In series, the first set of episodes is about this mother and her two daughters, and she met this guy named John, and okay. That's where the Dirty John comes from. That was actually the first one. Betty Broderick was the second one. If I misspoke last time and said Betty was the first one, I don't think I said it, but I talked about it first. But this was the first series. You should watch it as well. Oh my God, you'll be yelling at the TV the whole time. With Betty Broderick, you're yelling at the TV for a different reason, right? You want to try to reel in her behavior. You want to yell at the husband for mistreating Betty. You're yelling at the TV for a different reason. This one, you're yelling at the TV, and I don't want to use the word stupid or dumb or whatever, because we've all done it. We've all been there. But how much he pulls the wool over her eyes and she just doesn't see. She doesn't see anything. She ignores every red flag. Every single one. You really have to watch it, because it could have prevented a lot of what she and her daughters experienced if she listened or paid attention to anything. And I don't just mean ways that he behaved, red flags. I mean, okay, when you're dating and you have children, whether you introduce your children to the person you're dating or not is a very personal choice, okay? If I've ever dated anyone, I wanted my daughter to meet them. I trust her opinion. I want her opinion. I want to see how she is. Does she respond? Like, you know what I mean? Very smart from a very young age. Now, my ex-husband was the opposite. He didn't introduce her until it really got serious. You know what I mean? So people have different opinions, and whichever way you do it, that's fine. This woman, Debra's daughters, didn't like him. There were so many things about him that just struck them wrong. And I'm not saying that if you're an adult and you're dating someone and your adult children don't like that you need to dump him. That's not what I'm saying. But these daughters are sharp, especially the one that they show in the show. The older one. I think she was the older one. She just knew something was off. She ignored any opinions from her daughters. She ignored, they found stuff out about him, legal stuff, bad stuff. She ignored that and accepted whatever he told her as a lie to cover it up. He was mean to her nephew. She paid for the house. Like, all of these things, if you watch it, you'll see. She didn't accept any of these as red flags. Like, they go to see a beach house and he makes some remark. It's been a little bit now that I've watched it about not being liquid, or I wish I had, So she says, well, I can pay for it. I can pay for it. So she rents out this beach house for them to have a little love nest so she can live with him. And leave her place where her daughter's, okay. You don't take that as a red flag? That he has zero to contribute, and you're writing out a rent check for a year for a house for him to shack up in with you? There are a lot of red flags that she missed. And the poor woman, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I missed the red, I missed a lot of red, I did too. That's why I'm making this exact video. We really, really need to not ignore it when we see a red flag. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip to help you not ignore the red flags. I made a deal with a girlfriend of mine, and we both said, the one that I have one girlfriend who's been through this, so I talk to her a lot. We have made deals with each other that if we're ever dating anybody and there's a red flag, we're saying it out loud to each other, shining light right on it. Because if you don't, you're going to hide it and you're going to ignore it. If you say what you think is something odd that he did or said or acted in a certain way, if you say it out loud to somebody, now they know. So when you get talked out of it, or he cons you into a different reason, or makes you what, you have to come back to that friend's going to say, well, wait a minute, you told me that he was mean to your daughter. Yeah, but he explained it. How would you explain that to your friend? It's going to make it tougher for you to accept a red flag if you discuss it openly with somebody else. Trust me. And you're going to feel skumbari. Like, I don't know the word in English, but you're going to feel skumbari. Like, if you tell your friend he's doing something not on the up and up, and then you go and you spend time with it, now you have to explain to your friend why you're choosing to be with somebody who's acting less than stellar. That's going to make you feel gross. And you need to feel gross. If you go back with somebody and they're showing you a red flag, you need to be made to feel gross. Maybe that's what it would take for us not to have any more time with them. Because the more time you get with them, the more every single moment that I was with my narcissist, I added another bad memory that I wish I didn't have in my head. Whereas if I just accepted the first few red flags, maybe I would have only had 2 months of bad memories. And all the rest wouldn't even be anywhere in my mind. My daughter has been away at college for most of the last few years, but she did meet him. We had breakfast here, and my parents were here, and my daughter was here, and we had breakfast. She told me from one breakfast, you know, Tiny, he stresses you out. She calls me Tiny or Small. You know, he stresses you out, Small, didn't you? I feel it. He stresses you out. I said, you got that from a breakfast? And I listened. I want her opinion. She said, yeah. And I said, does he? I said, yeah, I can. And I took that to heart. I listened to her, and I paid attention. I continued to spend time with him. He was a nice guy to her. She didn't dislike him. It wasn't as strong as the Dirty John reactions. They detested him. It was bad. And that is something that the mother, and I say it, we can all say it, should have listened. She should have listened. She could have done this. We don't. Because the love bombing that the guy did to her was insane. They show in the series he would get up every day. He'd make her a shake. He'd put it next to her right on her nightstand. They show you that in a loop, that it's every day, that he keeps doing it. He gets the shower going until the temperature's right for her. All of these things are part of love bombing. And I watched a lot of interviews with the two women. These are the people that, and I mentioned this once a lot of videos ago, these were the people, they were in an interview with Kelly Clarkson, and she said, well, he was love bombing me. And Debra said to Kelly Clarkson, do you know that word? And Kelly Clarkson said, no, I don't. This was a year ago. That's how much this is not talked about. That was only a year ago. I didn't even know the term love bombing a year ago. That's about when I started to people don't even understand it. So she sees him come in, and he's doing this, this, and this for her. She wants to believe what she wants to believe because she wants that guy to be real. Somebody's doing your water temperature for you. Somebody's treating you like that, like a queen, like bringing you things in bed and bringing you... But then there were sides to him that were ugly, and things she found out that were horrible, and ways he was that were horrible. And she ignored them in the beginning. And she ignored truths she found out about him. She allowed him to explain away. That didn't make sense. There was a lot that happened. If you are in a relationship where you're looking at it and things just are not adding up, you need to look at it more closely. This woman obliviously went through this time. Bright woman, successful, obviously had a vulnerability. She had been married several times, so there's obviously some kind of hole in her self-esteem wise. Beautiful, successful woman with daughter. There's no reason she should have that, but nobody can judge anyone else's self-esteem level and if they have, a healthy level or not. Whatever the reason is, there was something about her that was left vulnerable. There was a hole in her that was left that was being filled by this guy. And she allowed him in, and she allowed him to remain. She definitely, too bad she didn't catch on quicker. What she and her daughters went through was a lot of trauma and drama and horrific. And I won't tell you what happens because it's a relatively newer story, 5 or 6, 7 years ago. Betty Broderick, I gave you the ending because everyone knows she killed him. She's in prison. You can look it up. I'm sure. You know what I mean? But this one, maybe you don't know this story, so I'm not going to tell you how it ends up so that you can figure it out. But they go through some horrific things. And not until then does she realize. So all the way through, she was trying to stand by this man. In the face of her family, her children, begging her. She tells them, I broke up, and then she didn't. We've all done that too. You broke up, but then you see him secretly. Nobody knows. You don't want to tell them because you know they'd be mortified because they already know about the red flag that did cause you to break up with him. That one did come to light. Maybe they found it out. Now you're going to go back to them. You're not going to tell people. But that's dangerous for you. You already know he's dysfunctional, yet you went back in. Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we go back in when we know they're dysfunctional once we figure it out? It's just astounding to me. I did it. I was back and forth. He didn't even deserve my time on the phone. I didn't get back together with him, but when somebody mistreats you that badly, they don't even deserve your time on the phone. Not your friendship, not your ear, because they're having problems elsewhere, and you were always my best friend. I could talk to you. Can you just talk to them? No. You know what? No. I'm sorry. No. I can't right now talk to you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. The red flags, ignoring the red flags is what gets us here. There's no other simpler way to say it. Because I would be very curious to talk to someone. And if you are someone, please let me know. That had no red flags, please let me know. Because even if it's in hindsight, there's always red flags. I saw them and ignored them. I noticed them when they were happening and stomped on them anyway. Stomped on them. Went right through them. So if you're someone that is in a situation right now and your man is bringing you breakfast every morning and making you mine did all that. I didn't do anything. I had coffee in bed for a year, 3 meals a day cooked. He would clean the house. He would do the lawn. He did everything. Everything. And I was astonished at that. That he was doing that. He was doing everything. And being a jerk. Do you know what I mean? So I don't care how much coffee you're bringing me in bed. That's not a treatment of me. That's you happen to pour coffee in a cup and bring it to me. How are you treating my person is what counts. Not what they're doing for you. Right? And doing things, that's lovely. That could be lovely. Those are all gestures that can demonstrate how they feel when it's a non-disordered person. With a disordered person, It's manipulation when they get you coffee or bring you a protein shake or turn your water on in the shower for temperature or put the towel around you. He would always, when I got out of the shower, he'd put one towel around and then one around. He would wrap me all up. But he was awful in the things that he was doing. And I ignored them, thinking, he's having a bad day. Oh, well, I guess we're going to stumble a little bit before he finds his way. He's going to stumble a little bit because he's been doing this for 40 years, he told me. So let's get these all out. Let's get the kinks out. We're going to ride it out, and then it's going to be smooth sailing. At some point, it's going to be smooth sailing, is what I tried to teach myself, tell myself. Smooth sailing. He's a narcissist. He has a disorder. There's no smooth sailing. Ever. When you find things out about your narcissist, when you sense things about your narcissist, when you see red flags with your narcissist, you have to pay them proper mind. You must pay the red flags proper mind. Dissect them, sit, think about them, talk about them out loud. You don't have someone that you can talk to? Comment in this channel. Find a video. There's over 200 of them. Find a video somewhere where you relate and get your thoughts out, and somebody will answer you. We have a nice community here. Lean on us. I mean it. If you don't have a friend that you can, because you don't want to. I get that too. We keep it secret. We keep the red flags secret. We don't want to shine light on them. Because you know once you say it, like I made it, then you can't go back to them, because now you told your friends everything. Lean on us. Comment whatever you need. But honestly, the red flag is the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. The red flags are your first sign that you're with a narcissist, other than the love bombing, which is right in the beginning. But the love bombing is a red flag. That is a red flag. Oh yeah. That's a huge red flag. A nice, steady, normal pace. Do you know what I'm saying? A normal, whatever normal is, but a steady, gentlemanly speed. They come in, she's snoring. They come in like a train and knock you right off your feet. Please pay mind if you see red flags or if you think you have a red flag. Ask right out. Ask in the comments. Is this a red flag? He did this. Is this a red flag? Watch how quickly. My audience is very responsive, and they're all helpful with each other. They will answer you. You will get answers. I can think of 5 people right now that will give you answers. If you're wondering if something's a red flag, please ask us, and we'll help you. And then tune in for more.